Good morning, restaurant owners, and we are live on Facebook with our weekly training for restaurant owners on the accounting and finance, how to use that to improve your profits and cash flow. Let's get to this week's topic. Let me share my screen. And this week's topic is hidden profit, simple tools to slash food costs without cutting quality. Reducing food costs isn't about some genius trick. It's about consistency, visibility, and accountability. Simple tools used properly can unlock major savings. And we're going to go over some of those simple tools today. You know that every percentage point of food cost goes straight to your bottom line. Every percentage point or half a percentage point, even trimmed on a $2 million a year revenue restaurant, that goes straight to the bottom line. Yet many restaurants are wasting 2 to 5% every month. The key mindset shift, that's easy for me to say. The key mindset shift is simple doesn't mean easy, but it does mean possible and powerful. So these tools are simple, but they do require the consistency and accountability to use them, put them into place, incorporate your team into using these tools, and you'll start to see some of those savings in your food cost. So one of the things that I always talk about, and I've talked about in many of my weekly trainings, is budgeting. That's a key tool to improving profits and cash flow. And I'll just say that budgeting and setting that mindset to lower food cost often leads to smarter behavior across the board. So let's talk about some of these systems to lower your food costs. The first and foremost is the inventory system. It's the foundation of cost control. If you're not taking inventory, you're guessing on food cost percentage and not managing it. Many of you will tell me, my inventory doesn't fluctuate that much. What's the difference? I'm accumulating costs every month. The inventory doesn't fluctuate much. Why do I have to take inventory? The truth is, it does fluctuate. You get a product received on the last day of the month, all of a sudden that inventory level is higher than it normally is. There are many reasons that the inventory does fluctuate. And if you're not taking inventory, and we're going to talk about the formula for the real food cost formula, you're kind of just guessing at your food cost percentage. And let's be precise, precision leads to savings. And like I said, even a half a percentage point on a $200,000 a month revenue leads to some big savings to the bottom line. So you've got to start with inventory and make sure you're measuring precisely what your food costs are. Take the inventory monthly at a minimum. I've got several clients that take inventory weekly because they know it's such a good tool to not only just pinpoint your food costs, but also to help you establish par values on many of your items and to help you control ordering and help you control waste so that you're not over ordering or under ordering and you're running out of product for one of your specials that week. So the key to taking inventory on a frequent basis is organizing your shelves, organizing your coolers, organizing your freezers, so that when you buy, every item is put in the same place every single time and label so that your entire team knows exactly where things belong. Organization leads to ease of taking inventory. And that way you can build shelf to sheet system, sheet to shelf, shelf to sheet, however you want to call it, so that your inventory sheets are following exactly how things are organized on your shelves, your freezers, and your coolers. And it makes taking inventory easy and simple, can be done within an hour or less, so that the count sheets match your storage layout. Include everything you prep and make in-house, not just what's bought and sitting on the shelves. Many of the things you make will last several days, and it is part of that inventory system because it uses ingredients to make or prep some of those items. Salad dressing, for instance. This is the first step to setting up detailed menu item costing which is a whole nother topic that we get into in more than one of these trainings. And detail menu item costing is how you engineer your menu to drive profits to the bottom line. And the first step is taking inventory of those things that you prep and make in-house. Here's a big point. In today's day and age, use technology for faster, more accurate data and an easier process. One of the tools that we use with our clients is called Margin Edge. Margin Edge is a great tool for managing your ordering, managing your accounts payable, paying your vendor bills. And it also is a system that you can start to build that detailed menu item costing, and it has inventory features built into it. So that when you enter the inventory levels, it automatically updates the cost associated with each of those items. And when you buy items, it adjusts the cost according to what the most recent purchase price is. So no inventory equals no real food cost data, full stop. If you're not taking inventory, your food cost on a month-to-month basis on your financial statements is not precise and is not accurate. So here's the real food cost formula, and this is why inventory is so important. For every single item, it's the beginning inventory plus purchases that month, or plus purchases minus the ending inventory equals usage. So beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory equals the usage, and the food cost percentage is the usage divided by gross sales. All right, inventory, we beat that one to death. Let's move on. So let's just go through this. A waste tracker, stopping death by 1,000 cuts. I want to go through this, and then I'm going to bring in a sample of what I mean by the waste tracker. Make sure I've got this set up over here to bring in. I do. So let's track what's wasted. Use a simple clipboard system to record what's wasted. Clipboard system is the best way to do it. It's there handy. You can just write on it as you go to measure how much and why things are wasted. Low tech works perfectly here. Now, that clipboard system is turned into tech because it's handed over to the accounting department to make sure you're tracking that waste correctly within the financial statements and adjusting inventory levels according to that waste. You're identifying patterns. Look for recurring issues, drops and spills, dead plates, spoilage. Hold daily and weekly team debriefs to look at what's wasted and understand why and how it's wasted to stop that waste and stop the death by 1,000 cuts. Make it team-led. It's not a gotcha tool, it's a coaching opportunity. Team ownership drives better results. Now let's bring in a sample of a waste tracker so you can see how it works. So like I said, let me expand that a little bit so everybody can see it. So you're simply recording the time of day. Up on the top is the day of the month, October 8th. It's a Wednesday. What time? It was a burger. What is the item? How many? One. And what was the reason? It was a drop or a spill. Which employee was involved? And again, this is not a gotcha system. It's a training and coaching opportunity. And who was the manager on duty when that happened? Let's go through a couple examples here and we'll build one in ourselves. So at 1:30, someone discovered a case of lettuce. It was spoiled. Who discovered it? Kim Stone. And who was the manager on duty? At 5:30, some fillets. 4, what was the reason? The owner took some fillets home. Not something I advocate for or advise or approve of, but it happens all the time in independently owned restaurants. We all know that. Paul Biggie's the owner. He brought home 4 fillets. Who was the manager on duty? Joe Smith, who recorded it. Let's just do another one at noon. What was it? Let's say it was a veggie burger. 2 of them. Who did it, or what was the reason? It was over prepped. Who was responsible? John Green. And who was the manager on duty? Joe Smith. A lot seems to happen when Joe Smith is a manager on duty. Maybe there's a trail there for reducing some waste. You get the idea. Review this. Record one of these sheets every day. Make sure it goes to the accounting department, and review these on a weekly basis with your team to discover why things are being wasted and what can be done to prevent it. Okay, moving on. Key item tracking. Focus on what matters the most. Choose 5 to 10. And again, we're going to go through this and then I'm going to bring in an example so you can see exactly what the sheet looks like. This is another clipboard system. Choose 5 to 10 high impact items: steak, salmon, avocados, whatever's pricey and easy to waste or steal or walk out the back door. Let's be honest, include items you cannot run out of. So if these are key items on your menu, make sure you're picking those up on a week-to-week basis. And it's 5 to 10 high impact items, different set of items every week, so that you're not tracking the entire list of your inventory, but you are focusing on those key items, one set of items per week. Track it per shift. Beginning count, amount used, ending count, simple but powerful. Build staff trust. Honest staff loves these systems. Your honest staff, your best staff loves accountability systems because it protects them from blame and creates accountability amongst the entire team. Match it to the waste log. If there's a variance, it should align with your waste log, your waste tracker. If not, you've likely got shrinkage or theft. Let's look at how that works. Bring over another sheet. Let's blow this up a little bit. Let's just go through this. So what is the item? Let's just say it's a burger. You started the shift with 6. You prepped or purchased another 10. That makes 16. You sold 12. You should be ending with 4. But if the actual ending count for this particular item on that day is only 2, you've got an over and short of 2. Well, that missing 2 burgers should track to the waste item tracker so that you understand whether or not you've got a shrinkage problem. And we all know what shrinkage means. It could be walking out the back door. Let's look at the 9-ounce filet. Started the day with 4. You prepped 10 more. You sold 12. There's 2 left at the end of the day. 0 over and short. So whatever your 5 to 10 items are for that week, you just continue to go through this process. Set it up at the beginning of the shift. 6-ounce portion bag of shrimp. Whatever's available at the beginning of the shift, make sure we're recording that. And as the shift goes on, what's prepped? 5 more. How many were sold? You can get that from your point of sale system. Let's just say 6. There should be 4 on hand. There's only 3. What happened to that other bag of shrimp? So these two systems start to track waste and start to make sure everybody on your team is accountable, and they actually will improve your cost percentages because everything is precisely accounted for, tracked, and measured. Okay, weekly sales projections. Stop driving blindfolded. If you're using technology tools like Margin Edge, and there's even some point of sale systems that will help you use AI to project your weekly sales. Even if it's not perfect, just do it. Consider using AI tools. I already mentioned that. Factor in events, holidays, weather patterns. The AI tools do that automatically. They will even track local events happening within the neighborhood of your restaurant. This leads to smarter ordering. You can use projections to avoid over ordering and running out of key menu items. Balance inventory levels with anticipated demand. Never 86 again, or at least don't be surprised when it happens. Protect your guest experience while controlling cost. So smart ordering leads to less items ending up on the waste tracker for spoilage, and it also improves your customer service because you're not running out of items. And the combination of weekly sales projections, the inventory systems, the key item tracker, you can start to pinpoint your par values on your weekly or bi-weekly or semi-weekly ordering so that your inventory levels are at as close to perfect as possible. So you're not just saving money, you're also saving that guest experience. All right, your hidden path to profits starts with the inventory system. Know what's going on in your kitchen at all times. Label your shelves, your coolers, your freezers so that you can do a simple sheet to shelf system, and the inventory takes an hour a month or even an hour a week. As you start to implement these systems, you'll start to see the value in them. You may want to do inventory weekly because you see what it does for accountability and for efficiency within your restaurant. The waste tracker, we looked at that, know what you're losing to waste and why. This is a team involvement system, as is the key item tracker. Control what matters most to your bottom line, to your menu, and what matters most to your customer satisfaction. And then sales projections. Plan ahead for better results and continue to improve the preciseness of your par values and your inventory systems. Pick one tool to commit to using every week for the next 30 days. Then pick another tool and implement that. Pick another tool and implement that. Or if you're courageous, implement all this at the same time, but make sure you get your team involved and they understand why. It's to improve the operations of your restaurant, improve customer satisfaction, and improve accountability amongst your team. If you need help implementing these changes, book your introductory profit and cash flow analysis with us today. So here's your best next steps. Book your profit and cash flow analysis. Schedule a no obligation review of your current systems. I'm going to leave a comment below the video here that has a link to my calendar. Book a meeting. Let's transform your restaurant's financial future. We'll help you create a plan for specific opportunities to implement and reduce costs so that you can start to transform your cost control processes and watch your profits grow. And if you do book a meeting, I'll see what we can do to get into your hands. This is a Google Doc set up here for the key item tracker and for the waste tracker. We'll make sure you get that at no cost to you. That's it for this week's training. We'll see you next week with another live training for using accounting and finance to improve your profits and cash flow. Have a great week.